Hello everyone and welcome to Greyhammer. As usual, when I leave, everything crazy happens. So, if you can't tell right now, we've got some new news about Planet Zoo, and we also have some great news about Prehistoric Kingdom, which I'm just going to kind of go over in this video. If you're not familiar, my channel does Planet Zoo builds, Prehistoric Kingdom builds, and then news of all of them. We'll be expanding into some more content in the near future, but, let's get straight into kind of what they were talking about. So during Frontier Unlocked, which I was watching, they released this image. They said that it was some work in progress art and that they kind of couldn't reveal anything else. But I think it's pretty safe to say that we've got a new animal DLC coming. They have revealed that much. And I think it's actually going to be a little bit of an accelerated timeline than I thought. And I don't think it's the last one. So that's a few things, and we'll expand a little bit further on that. So obviously the first animal you can see here is the honey badger, or the rattle. It's pretty highly requested, not necessarily the top of the meta wish list, but it certainly is higher on the line of request. Now, over here, you can see we've got something that looks kind of like a lion-tailed macaque. So we could be getting the second macaque species of the game. So we've got what I'd assume all of these are macaques. Debate is whether this is a macaque or not. It could be a baby macaque, and that certainly would fit into them all being together. My personal opinion is it may also be a mongoose, so we could get like the Indian gray mongoose, I believe is the species. But let's just pretend like these are all lion-tailed macaques. So then we've got this, right? We're looking here, and this is where everyone starts freaking out. Because, look, they're elephants. And at first I was like, okay, so we've got this tropical river area. Maybe they're African forest elephants. And, yeah, no, they're not African forest elephants. It's pretty easy to tell here by the back shape. The way that it humps is it is not an African elephant. In fact, it looks way more similar to the Indian elephant back we already have in the game. So is there a subspecies of the Indian or Asian elephant? And actually Asian elephants do have different kind of structured humps. So I thought at first that maybe it's a Sri Lankan, but the pictures I've seen of Sri Lankans, their hump shape doesn't go like that. And so I'm actually going to take what is kind of an optimistic approach, and I'm going to say that we probably have a remaster of the Indian elephant coming, or they're just there in the background to kind of give you a general idea, and they're working on other species that they may want to include. So, kind of, what can this tell us about what the next DLC is going to be? And I think almost assuredly we've got a pretty good chance that this is an Indian animal pack. And that's at least my hope. I can't say for sure, but that's definitely something that I would enjoy. So if this is the Indian animal pack and that these two species are confirmed, we then have 5 different species that still need to be kind of fleshed out in that roster. If it is like the Sri Lankan elephant, which is technically not part of India, but it's very much on the Indian subcontinent, sort of, then we could get 4 new species besides this. Personally, I really like Sri Lankan elephants, probably my favorite subspecies of the Asian elephant, but I don't think they necessarily are required for Planet Zoo. So I'm hoping an Indian elephant remaster, even though I think they're probably one of the base game animals that needs remastering the least. But it would still be worth having. There's also this enrichment piece, which is a little weird to show off in one of these images. I know someone had said that they thought maybe there was a different kind of reed in here. And then you get some temple pieces. Making the Indian temple pieces recolorable would also be a nice thing, but I'm not sure how much of that they're going to do this late in the game's development. Then again, I personally see the Indian pack as kind of confirmation that they are just deciding to focus in on Planet Zoo because it probably the American pack, while mixed reviews, I would say probably gave them all the uh, clarification they needed that yeah, Planet Zoo is still doing well. They can still make money off of Planet Zoo, and they're not releasing DLC for Planet Coaster 2 yet. And so they're not really making that much more money off of Planet Coaster. And so, barring Jurassic World Evolution 3 doing really well, which we're expecting news in this next month, um, I think we can say that Planet Zoo is going to keep on trucking with Planet Zoo 1. As much as I kind of want to see a Planet Zoo 2 and see how they can improve with a newer engine and more advanced building techniques, I'm still happy enough. As long as I'm getting Planet Zoo content, I'll be happy. But let's just say what four species I think would be great for an Indian animal pack. And they're not all expansive for sure. So I would like to see some mongoose species, so like the Indian gray mongoose would be one that I'd like to see. Um, I would say a nilgai or a black buck or both. Um, Fishing cat would be another great one. So that's four, but let's just say that we get a black buck instead of a nilgai, which I'd still be fine with. Um, so a fishing cat would be nice, and then I think a species of langur, but Planet Zoo is kind of allergic to primate species, so but I think a langur would be pretty different than most of the other animals we have. The closest I think would be a proboscis monkey. So they might actually get some new animations. The macaques, they're probably going to use similar to the Hamadryas baboon rigs. Um, and that's another complaint I've seen is that it's again a bunch of copy animals, a bunch of clone animals. I don't see that as being necessarily too big of an issue with these guys. Um, I think they're pretty unique, at least in what role they fill. Honey badgers acting as a scavenger, honey eater, of course, and then uh, lion-tailed macaques being pretty interesting. Um, we could get some really cool species. Asiatic lion is another one that's on the table that we've actually talked about recently. So that's another one that I think would work pretty well for this pack. Another good one would be something like a Burmese python or a reticulated python, king cobra. All of those species are pretty good. Indian pond turtle. Uh, Basically, there's a lot of different animals. Mugger crocodile is another one heard that was a nice thought. Um, and of course, there's all kinds of bird species like the Indian great hornbill, um, but too many to mention. Some sort of bustard species. I'm not going to try and mention them all, but needless to say, I'm pretty excited about expanding the roster. Sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background. You probably can't because my mic is supposed to be good. But let's get into Prehistoric Kingdom, and we'll be right back. Alright, so we're back with some Prehistoric Kingdom news with the Dev Diary for May 2025. For those who didn't know, we got information that the Gallimimus is going to be in the next update, along with a bunch of paleoflora, but they go into a little bit more detail on this one. Um, so yeah, again, we had some really nice babies from last update and threatened animations in development so that there'll be more interactions in between dinosaurs. They're also adding some new baby animations, such as this one for a hadrosaur. I'm not sure exactly what species because we haven't built for dinosaurs in our park yet, but really nice animations for the hadrosaur and the sauropods, so we'll get some of those in soon, which is going to be pretty nice. Then we've got some really nice art for the Gallimimus, if we were just to pull that up. It looks really, really nice. Kind of this reddish brown color with some counter shading on the bottom. Looks really much like an ostrich, which they said they are going to be using ostrich and emus to allow them to animate, and it's getting a new rig to allow those feathers to really nicely show. And here's kind of a picture of them in game, which of course they look amazing. The game's art is very beautiful looking. Looks like we've got a lurking T-Rex in the background. So it looks like they might be a wetland species, which I'm a little bit surprised on, but will be kind of cool. So yeah, we're getting some Mesozoic plants in the near future. So this is a little bit look of them, I would guess, in the grassland, but I'm not 100% sure. I just know they're from Morrison Formation. But here's some coastal pictures that we can look at. Some really nice uh, pictures of. It looks probably based off of like California redwoods, but more Mesozoic looking. Um, we've got some more of the coastal environments. Oh, and I forgot to mention 180 variants from different biomes. Um, and then they have just the boreal and desert biome to have their paleoflora completed. So we've gone over the coastal, then we've got the shrubland, which is looking very nice. Definitely really liking that. So yeah, we've got some sauropods. I think they're Brontosaurus with some Plateosaurus, so prosauropods. The temperate biome, which doesn't look super different, lots of ferns, some broadleaf plants. It looks like. And then they're showing some that it works with mammal habitats as well. So that's pretty cool. A look at the tropical. So yeah, looking, I mean, pretty similar to what you'd expect in some tropical areas of the world today. I've seen some stuff like this in Belize. And here's another picture with some Oranosaurus and Ceratops, with more of that tropical. Um, but that's not all. They always knock it out of the park with all these new updates. And yeah, some UI changes that looks nice. You get some wireframe pictures in the Paleopedia. You get to sort them by all these different options, so alphabetically, by region, by type, um, by time period. It's pretty nice. They showcase all of those. Go ahead and check their page if you want to see all of it, but it's a little bit of a longer video that I don't want to sit through all of them. You get a nice little preview of them beforehand and lots of new options. You can display them in animation, which is nice. Um, and then you can change their. Um, we already could change their maturity and neot- neo neotogeny, um, but you're going to get more options to change their skins. You're going to new toggles to get random skins, random sex, random maturity, and random neo neoteny. Neoteny. So you can create a lot of different groups. So if we go and look at their Oranosaurus, they're going to cycle through some of those animations. Um, so you can get kind of a good look of what they're going to be, and you can randomize all these different factors, and it's going to create different ages, skins, and all that. It's quite nice. In addition to that, because again, more stuff. They always add tons. You're going to be able to select skins more, and you can override their color variation, adding you to change like saturation and things on that. So you could now select those color variations. You can change the um, patterning. You can change the hue, saturation, and value as well, which is quite nice. So yeah, really shows off the different. You're gonna be able to really customize how your dinosaurs look, and you can of course randomize it so you can get way more random uh, herd variations. Going to be very nice. And that's going to be it. We're going to leave here on this beautiful screenshot by Franco192. But let me know what you thought about me getting back into a little bit of the news. This will probably be more of an infrequent thing, but kind of create every once in a while. I kind of enjoyed it, and I'm not doing it on a script anymore, which I am really enjoying the freedom that that gives me. I think I'm done with scripts, probably forever. I've tried them a couple of times, and I just feel fake doing it. So, yeah, we're just, you're gonna get all my rambling. But enough with the rambling. If you do enjoy that kind of content, do go ahead, like this video, and subscribe to my channel. We're going to be doing some more Prehistoric Kingdom content, more Planet Zoo content, and some more not planet, but some more content of different types coming to the channel in the near future. It's going to be really great. Go ahead and comment below what game you're most excited for of Planet Zoo or Planet Prehistoric Kingdom. Bleh, can't speak. Because both of those updates look like they're going to be pretty cool. Let me know what species you'd like to see in an Indian animal pack, and what dinosaurs or extinct mammals you'd like to, or birds, you'd like to see in Prehistoric Kingdom. With that, this has been a great time, and I'll see ya in the next episode. Bye, y'all.